So welcome everybody to, well, we'll see if we keep doing this. So they want me to say the first awakening magic, like universal grounding when I first started it in July of 2024. It was something that ended up happening every month because we needed it. We needed it to prepare, to be really grounded in uncertainties. Here now, it's shifted. It's saying now, we're here to awaken the magic. Why? You are magic. So we'll see if this is something I do every month. I'm happy to do it. So they're saying, welcome to the first awakening magic. And just noticing that we're surrounded by, well, this is funny, an ocean of energy, a lot of fluid, of course, earth elementals, ocean magic, but a lot of cosmic, the ocean of the unified field, a lot of cosmic forces helping us, of course, Mother Gaia, and the great cosmic mother. To me, she represents everything that is good and right with the world. She is a creator, she is the manifestor, she is creation itself. So we're being welcomed, and I thank them right back for providing this portal, this point between time and space where we're gathering past, present, and future to hear our prayers, hear our desires, to serve our intentions. Mother, Father, God, all that is, right? Cosmic Mother, elementals. Thank you, thank you, thank you for hearing our prayer, for gathering us in this space, for those who are listening live and those who are listening to the replay. We ask that you serve our intention that we're just going to be saying in a little bit, and the intentions of those present, even in the depths of their heart where they don't even know what they need. And we trust and we know that those prayers are answered. We're specifically being asked to point this to all those who are suffering, all those who are mourning, all those who are grieving, all those who are caught up in the betwixt and between the changeover and some of the violence that's happening as a result of it. So a part of this session is dedicated to those. Maybe you have loved ones suffering right now. Maybe you have loved ones that have crossed over. Maybe you know people who are in the midst of illness or strife or distress or chaos of some kind. This is for them. Thank you. And we're going to take a moment to do a vocalizing exercise that will ground this divinity into the body. So we're just going to chant the sound of Om 3 times. If you're alone and you have the capacity to do it, please join me. We're going to take 3 deep breaths in, and the out breath, elongate the sound of Om. First breath in. Second breath in. And the third breath in. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Group intention for tonight. So we are seeing past the illusions of fear-based limitations to ground the light and empower ourselves for what's needed. This and something better. So it is. when you set an intention in sacred space, you let go the way it is answered, how it is answered, when it is answered. When I set the group field, it's always in the highest and best intention, so we know what's showing up for us is of the highest order. We know that what we asked for is in the highest and best interest. Thank you. So taking a moment to sense in, we're just going to clear out some debris for some of you that's built up in your belly, between your second and third chakra, in your guts, in your, it's like you've been kicked in the guts. Whatever is happening in your world right now, whatever is happening in the world right now, to pretend that you're not connected is just to be disconnected, and many of us are. But to be connected, if you're not grounded, if you're not living in that eternal space of groundedness, can feel like a kick in the guts with all the strife and the illusion and the stress and the strain and the violence. So we're clearing it now in the clearing the second and third chakras, the belly, the digestive system. A lot of constricted energy. And now on the other side of this constricted, dense energy is disconnected. The part of us that says it's too much. I'm just going to disconnect. It's almost like the two were married together, right? They were interlaced. Because maybe the reason you disconnected was all this constricted. Yeah, there it is. They're interlaced, they're intertwined. And that's just human conditioned consciousness. I call it that because the conditioned consciousness is the illusion, is the fear, is the patterns of experiences built up over lifetimes, within our genetics, within our human his story in the last couple thousand years. Ooh, there we go. That stretched right back into the kidneys. There we go. There we go. There we go. So it's your entire core, your entire midsection. This is the aspect of you that is interfacing with the collective. One of my specialties, apparently I did this in many, many lifetimes, is to work on that interface. Because the interface is really hard to reach. There's genetics in there, genetics very, very dense. There's karmic history, what we call incarnational history, the stuff that you are born with that has to do with your past karma. And of course, there's this lifetime's human consciousness. All of it is a coagulated mix. What we call separation consciousness. Separation consciousness is everything living in the illusion of what isn't whole or what isn't balanced. A lot of it is emotional based, repressed emotion, repressed fear, repressed grief, repressed torture, repressed terror, repressed war, violence, brutality. You get the picture. Wound together tightly like giant ropes. In your second and third chakra, because why? One is control, the other one is emotional based, your self-image tied up with this collective fear. Stuff you don't want to stomach, stuff that you've been like kicked in the guts. People get a lot of reactions and responses to what's called the gut brain, and they get instinctual feelings, and they're usually warnings like this isn't right for you, but the gut brain is really instinctual and has a lot of survival fear there. So it's good for warnings, not necessarily good for making life decisions because it is fear based. Tends to be fear based, not always. If you got to do a lot of clearing there for it to be more of a bellwether. And then your navel starts to be a hookup, starts to, hey, here's where I hook up to life. Wow. It's a completely different thing when your second and third chakras are cleared. I didn't expect to start here. I thought we were going to do something different, but again, I am not in charge. There we go. So when I put structures in for this clearing, what are structures? When you work dimensionally, you recognize that everything is connected. You're connected to everything. Everything is connected to you. Well, that makes for a pretty complex picture, right? So these structures are just intentional mapping, following what we just said. The intention was to clear the second and third chakras, to clear stomach, the digestive system, the kidneys, everything in the core that is holding this fear-based pattern of what I call separation consciousness. Again, everything that's out of balance with wholeness. Wholeness is your original state. Wholeness is in balance with the rest of the universe. Universe in balance with you. It's fluidity. It's flow. There's a lot of different names for it. There we go. There, that. Think of structures like, well, one of them is called GPS. That makes sense, right? It's a GPS. You know, when we have an intention and when we have an intention to drive somewhere and we don't know where we're going, we turn on our GPS, right? So one of the structures I put in is called GPS. It's like mapping. Here, this intention is going to go here and here and here and here and here and here and here. And especially in something like this interface, you can instantly feel that it's working. The structures themselves are active request. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go into your grounding cord. The grounding cord is really necessary to be updated right now. Why? Because your grounding cord is calibrated to when you first came in the earth, and unless you specifically updated, upgraded it, you know, it's like you're still on grounding cord 1.0 when everyone else is on maybe 5.0. Don't pay attention to those numbers. You see what I'm saying? It's like application updates. So we're going to update your grounding cord to the highest frequency, and that applies to everyone here, because you know what? While I was sitting here, while you guys were talking, I got an aurora notification. I happen to live so much north that aurora's activity is really high, which actually is wonderful for this Friday the 13th. So we're being supported by geomagnetic energies. But geomagnetic energies can bring in high frequencies by the moment. So you're all getting an upgrade to the high frequency grounding cord. Some of you are, this grounding cord is, there we go. Needs to be updated, upgraded. There we go. And connecting it to the center of the earth, like an express elevator. And when I update grounding cords, also dimensionally, you're connected like a plumb line to the center of the universe, because you're part of the fabric of everything. As disconnected human beings, we don't always know that, so it's not always an active connection. So we're just kind of lighting it up. Plumb line to the universe, through your system, energy system down to the center of the earth. There we go. We're just going to do a little bit of grounding. Again, I spent almost 2 years doing nothing but grounding. So what we're grounding and anchoring now is our unique presence. Because our unique presence, think of it like caterpillars coming out of the cocoon, right? You're a unique individual of the greater whole. You are a unique drop, singular drop, as a part of the entire ocean. And so what we're grounding is your unique expression. Your caterpillar cocoon, whether you're stretching up and you're now a butterfly, it's now lighting up in the greater grid of the whole. It's the best way I can describe it. So it's not even as much of a grounding as it's like a universal ripple effect in the web of life. It's going to seem like grounding because we want to be more a part of this awakening earth, and the awakening earth is very karmically chaotic right now. So it's going to probably seem more grounding than expanding. Expand. It's going to seem more grounding than expanding, or an expansion, or even a transcendence. But it's both. Something called transcending and inscending. Recognition that you are part. All things nature, and nature is all a part of all things you. And so your individual frequency is just really getting spa day. Spa day. It's getting sparkled if it's needed. It's getting shined if it's needed. It's getting cleaned, cleared, transformed, updated, upgraded. They're showing me, I don't know, I'm sure maybe all of you have seen the Wizard of Oz, and when they first come into the Emerald City, that horse of a different color, and they're all taken off. Individual places where they're getting their hair curled, they're getting the Tin Man's getting his armor buffed. They're all getting exactly what they need. And that's what this is. So I can't even call it grounding because it is, it's empowering. Thank you. It's part of ask for, receive. It's a part of what we ask for. It's an empowering update, upgrade. And for some of you, it will be grounding. Some of you, it will be expanding. Some of you, it will be both. Some of you, it will weighted one way more than the other. So this is an empowerment upgrade. So we had to do that grounding cord expansion and ascension first to create more of a flow for some of you that needs it. Now I've got that dang music from the Wizard of Oz in my head. What do they call those earworms? Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is put in structures for this empowerment upgrade. Again, each of you are going to have to assess what that means to you, and that these structures will supply that specific mapping and mandate within your own system. Ooh, some of you, it's going into the brain. I can feel that already. So you may feel disconcerted. You may feel disoriented. You may feel woozy. So I hope you're lying down. Whenever we work on the brain, it has a tendency to shut you down in a certain way because you use your brain even to listen. So you probably are asleep, tranced, or on the way there. If you're getting brain work, and not everybody is getting brain work. Again, empowering where you're most needed. Wonderful. Oof. It's empowerment upgrade. Ooh. Very physical for some of you. So just open up, receive. We're just going to let it work for the next couple of minutes. Because it's working differently for each of you. Not getting really a generic tracking, other than it's physical for some of you, it's in the brain for others. It's in your emotional body for some of you, especially if you're challenged with emotional issues. Wow. So when we targeted those people in your life who are suffering, this is going to them as well. Remember, this was earth work, meaning it is radiating out into the morphic field. It's working within all of human consciousness, but it's specifically targeting those you know who are suffering, those you know who are really having troubles or problems, whether it's in your personal friendship, family, or even those who crossed your mind and are really being challenged right now. Those who intended to come tonight and maybe didn't. There we go. Some of them may just be getting nurturing, some healing, some just feeling like they're seen and heard. There's a lot of people out there who are screaming into the wilderness, right? Some of the things that each of you talked about tonight. Bumping up against this illusionary glass ceiling. It's actually like a glass bubble we're living in. It's starting to fracture, fragment, even fall apart. But the way it's falling apart is not easy. It's not simple. And it's creating a lot of chaos. And in this chaos, people are suffering. So there's a specific aspect of something all of us mentioned, and all of us are holding dear to our hearts. Because as empaths, or people feel, or even sensitive, we all sense that there's an element of suffering there. Now, when we realize we're connected to everyone and everyone's connected to us, you can't escape it because it is you. things that are breaking down, the people who are being hurt, the people who are being killed, the people who are being tortured, terrorized, inhumanely, cruelty. It's all us. And so we didn't ask for it. But it's being sent out simply because they knew we were carrying this in our heart of hearts. Nurturing, healing, grounding, calming, empowering, whatever is needed. There we go. Legions of angels, legions of elementals, legions of high frequency beings, helping those who are suffering, even if it's just a moment of respite. Maybe that's all that's needed, especially to anyone who is not particularly wanting to be here because it's so challenging, because they've reached their end of the rope. They're getting a spark of aliveness deep within their cells. Sparks of hope going out, of light, of love, into the darkness. Not realizing that from a feminine viewpoint, the darkness is the void. It is pure potential. So wading into the darkness and chasing away all those ghosts is exactly what we're meant to do, so that the darkness becomes whole, becomes just a part of human life. Human life says, I'm magic, I'm light, I'm dark. I'll be vacillating, roller coastering between the two, but because I am a part of the greater whole is what is supporting all of it, all of us. That's what we did pre-human HIS, history. We existed as an animated life force that's a part of the greater whole, part of this living universe. We were vibrationally transparent, but we were also vibrationally interconnected, interdependent, symbiotic. Just like the I see the word, but my brain doesn't always. Fungal field. Mitochondria cells. Just like the fungal field underneath the forest. Everything's interconnected in this subtle webbing, divine webbing. And that's what we use to talk to the plants, to talk to the planets, to commune with each other. That's coming back online. That's what the feminine intelligence is remembering. And as we come into our fierceness, our fearlessness, that's what's really going to change things. So some of you coming online, your feminine empowerment just went. So that's why we were in the grounding cord in a way that was really strengthening your ability to be present and anchored in the here and now, but also anchored in your cosmic transcendence in a way that's just coming online. Beautiful. So in some way, this is a gift. In other ways, it's just a remembrance. In other ways, it is strengthening, enhancement. There was activations, there surely were transmissions, but basically it's just like whoop, parts of you coming online. That's exactly what it felt like when we were in the grounding cord. Didn't feel like we were descending. It just felt like a ripple effect, like parts of you that you didn't even realize were parts of you were coming online, which makes sense because the constricted, dense, heavy field of patriarchal consciousness indoctrinates us to forget that that is our heritage, that that is our origin, that that is our primordial self. So it's coming back online in a way that cannot be ignored and will be a force to be reckoned with. And so as we gather in groups, we're helping each other remember, just like this. So I get the sense that this is going to be a monthly offering. And for that, I'm so honored. Yes, I have an online group that we meet a couple of times a month. This is for anyone and everyone that needs it. Remember, remember, remember. And so this will be on the YouTube, but it's also rippling into the morphic field. There's a morphic field, again, unified field of all existence. But the morphic field was identified by physicist Rupert Sheldrake, who said, whatever happens to one thing happens to everything else, and you can tap into that memory. And in this case, because this was the mandate given to me, we can clear that field. That's what we're doing on Wednesdays. We're dismantling patriarchal patterns. Fun? Well, if you considered facing patriarchal patterns fun, I think it is. But we're tackling big subjects like suffering, like rigid belief systems. So it's for those who are ready to find them within themselves and release them. And you're doing them on your own. We were talking earlier about each of the things each of you are doing. That's enough. Whether you're gathering with your colleagues or gathering with your family, your loved ones, or even just gathering with trees, with the ocean droplets, with the magic of sprites in the water, and elves in the forest, and fairies in your garden, you're gathering. Angel Jophael here says, yep, don't forget us angels. Angel Jophael is in every session. She is the angel of illumination. She's what's helping light up everything within you. She has been with me since I was a child. I just didn't always know it. She's been with me all of my magical professional growth and enhancement, and she is in every session. Why? Because we need that ripple effect of illumination. So she's adding to this gift of illumination right now and the empowerment, and just dropping little crystals, dropping little raindrops, dropping little fires, sparks, seeds of illuminating the empowerment within. Beautiful. Seeds of empowerment. And where do these seeds of empowerment go? Well, we're works in progress. We always will be till the end of our life, because we can always go deeper into our karmic history. We can always go deeper into our genetics. And so these seeds are dropped into those places that we haven't really seen, are still in our way. And so when we get to them, it's just going to light up, because that's what Angel Jophael's gifts are. Specifically pointing at your beauty. Just how beautiful you are as a magical being, as a human being, as a light being. Okay. So now we're going to go into something I love doing. It's called Universal Timelines. And it recognizes that you are a quantum being. And we are right now in a place where past, present, and future exist. So what we're going to do is pull in a timeline of you, a thread of you that already exists, that has this full empowerment. So your question, if you don't already know it, or if you're listening to the replay, because the replay will strengthen this, is what is the empowerment that's coming through for you? See if you can sense in. It may be a release of emotions. It may be more clarity. It may be more magic. See if you can sense in. Because what we're going to do in this timeline is bring in the you that's already done that. And everything related to it has been transformed, completely, fully transformed. And you gain all its wisdom, because the reason you go through transformation is so you can learn. Say, oh, don't do that. Oh, hey, do this. Oh, hey, I need to change that. You gain wisdom from all of it. So we're going to bring in the blueprint for that, and it's going to act like a blueprint for your system to follow. So I'm going to do a little Shakti breathing for a little bit. Getting a lot of help, so it goes really fast. Because the 13th is a really auspicious day. We have got so much divine feminine with us. It's not even, it's like, it's like a force field of divine feminine. There were so many that I didn't even notice it until now. Because they were just so densely packed in. Every aspect of this group field was divine feminine energy in some aspect or form, way, or shape. So they were really apparent now as we brought in the timeline for this. So this just supercharged your empowerment, whatever it is that came in. So it might be helpful for you to know it. And if you don't know it, don't worry. Just notice what's different as you go forward. So this alternate version of you that's already done that created something else that I call an evolutionary blueprint. Why is it evolutionary? Well, it's for you to follow and evolve with. But you have the map now. So let me see if I can sense in, because sometimes I can get a generalized idea, but each one of you is slightly different. Yep, and so it's some aspect of magical freedom. What does that mean for you? Another question is, what is your magical gift? What is your magical, and it doesn't have to be a purpose, because to me, purpose is very patriarchal. You have to have a mission, you have to have a goal, you have to have a 5-year plan. It's very hierarchical, very control-based. The matriarchal mission is just to be, right? It's just to be, it's just to flow, it's just to listen. The surrendered listening is such a key aspect of the matriarchal system, because you're connected to everything else. So your individuality doesn't matter as much as what the universe is saying is for you. Because if you follow that, then everything else is in alignment. So sense in to your magical empowerment. And there's going to be some aspect of freedom that's coming through, right? What does freedom mean? Freedom means some of that karmic baggage is now gone. And that could mean I don't believe in this part of myself, I have some self-doubt, or I don't love myself, or I don't trust this aspect of who I am, or maybe you don't even know what that aspect is. Because it's usually very subtle or very, 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 very simple. And you've jumped over it. Because again, patriarchal conditioning says you need a certification, you need a certificate, you need college, you need and so on and so forth. Where magical gifts could be something as simple as clarity, as the ability to network, as the ability to sense, it's just very, very simple. So you could jump right over it. So just pay attention, just notice what comes forward in the next couple of days. Where is there more freedom? Where is there more space? Because again, remember, we cleared all that heaviness, all that conditioning in your second and third chakra when we first started. Where is there more space to be? To listen, to act, to flow, to laugh, celebrate. So a week from today, I'll be holding a spring equinox session. And it almost, when I was writing it up and I had this flowery graphic, it just seemed out of place. Because with what's going on in the world, how do we celebrate the spring? Well, maybe we just look at it all like nature does, with eyes of seasonal change, and whatever that way means. Nature doesn't say, well, we just had a big forest fire, poor me. It just says, hey, look at the new shoots coming up that couldn't be possible because none of these plants were getting light before. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So we're going to bring in this magical freedom into just a little bit of integration. And integration is recognizing again that you are part of everything. Everything is a part of you. Integration says we need to catch you up to those changes. Integrating in all space, all time, all realities, all dimensions, all realms, all fields, interdimensionally, catching up, physicalizing. Brain, the nervous system, and we're using this magical freedom, so it's going to go pretty quickly. Magical freedom, pretty powerful stuff. Integrating the nervous system, all aspects, the vagus nerve, integrating the chakras, especially the second and third that got a lot of attention earlier. Integrating the energy body, especially emotional, mental bodies. So we have so much help. That's why it's going really fast. Integrating the organs, especially the kidneys, the heart, the lungs, stomach, the digestive system. Trust me when I tell you that really big, deep clearing in the beginning, whew, that was powerful. And it was like, well, if you're from the Midwest, it's called roto-rootering. That was like a really big flushing cleanse. Integrating the cellular, molecular, into the mitochondria of your cells, into the function, into their consciousness. Trillions of cells. Integrating the genetics. I'm going to put some structures in your genetics. It's usually pretty dense, but these structures help it go pretty fast. It usually happens in your dream time, your sleep time, your astral time. There we go. Integrating your life field, your intelligence system. It's called your luminous egg. That's your dimensional scaffolding. Your entire energy system, all of consciousness, integrating. Remember, this is really a key aspect of what we just did, where your system starts falling back into place. Coming into some Deve therapy for anyone who needs it for psyche, psychological body. A lot of mental upset going on out there, especially going to those who are suffering from that right now. Ooh, it was just like a burst of energy. And now ending with what I call infinite grace. We've been using infinite grace all session long. Infinite grace came forward. Remember I was talking about the swans. It actually came forward at the end of last year, beginning of New Year, but really morphed into being right around last fall in swan medicine. It's the recognition, realization that you are part of everything. I was using Trinity essence before that, which is the split parts, the body, the earth, the spirit, and how they're all coming together, which made sense because you kind of need to take steps. Infinite grace says you are all that. You're whole. Here it is. What do you need? It is evolutionary aspect. It is the parts coming in to unification and knowing that it's always been unified. Beautiful, infinite grace. Really focusing in on this magical freedom, enhancing it, amplifying it, and all the other shifts and movements that you had, the empowerment upgrade, the clearing, grounding cord, and filling it all with love. To me, the unifying aspect, the universal language, infinite grace is love. Wow, and Angel Jophiel usually comes forward right now, but she came forward earlier because those structures are actually being integrated with you. So now they're kind of gelling right now in the infinite grace. These empowerment structures, empowerment seeds, empowerment sparks, droplets. So again, notice what grows. Notice what comes into focus. And also, oppositionally, as empowerment comes online, because that's what it felt like empowerment coming online, is everything that is the antithesis of empowerment may be kind of in your face. Does that mean you need to make some lifestyle changes? Do you need to add more gratitude, more, what in your life isn't supporting this empowerment shift? It may bring that into your awareness. So if you have an increase of what you perceive to be negativity, it's just a reminder. So ask your body, ask these things, what is it that I need? Or lean back into source, lean back into the thousands of divine mothers we have around us at all times. Lean back into the magic. Say, what are you trying to show me? What are you trying to tell me? And then just listen and see. Because you asked for this. We asked for this. And it is being received. It is being gelled. It is manifesting. Beautiful. So now on ending with the Sanskrit mantra that is translated, may all beings be free and at peace. And may we be led from untruth to truth, from darkness to light, from death to immortality, as conduits of that peace. Om Masatoma Satkamaya Tamsoma Jyotirgamaya Yatroma Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Guryo Namaha. Hari Om. And the empowerment that just came online, may it continue to blossom and grow. Taking a deep breath, bringing you up and out of the space of grace, sending gratitude to the multitudes of help. We had so much divine energy here tonight, of course, on the magical Friday the 13th, the goddess Freya, which I didn't even mention. She's this Norse god of feminine fertility and blossoming and rebirth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to you for showing up. If you're listening to the replay, thank you for listening to the replay. Until next time, know that you are